Continuous monitoring dashboards show surface hygiene, which is important, but they don't show what controls are in place and whether those controls are actually working. The monitoring piece is, of course, necessary, but without supplementing it with assessment evidence, you can trade appearances for true protection. No open ports, clean exposure details, updated software certificates. They don't tell the whole story. What you won't see in your continuous monitoring dashboards, whether users' permissions are properly revoked, offboarding has happened completely and fully, whether backups are being done as they're supposed to, or any other things that are covered on the ancillary sides of a SIG Lite, for example. There are operational practices within a company, within your vendor network, that are critically important to understand and make sure are not only in place, but are being followed. This can only be done through assessment evidence. When practices drift from these published policies, there's nothing in the continuous monitoring ecosystem that is going to show you that and alert you. There are several things in overall cyber hygiene that need to be validated and can't be validated just by looking at external attack surfaces. I'll just give you a few examples, but the list is really quite long. Access lifecycle is one. Are permissions changed? Are terminations properly processed? When people change roles, is that function being followed? What about backup policies, redundancies? Are all the policies in place for those exercises being followed? And are they being accounted for? The only way you can check is either assessment data or by looking at those policies, which we can help you do. The final example is sensitive data handling. A lot of times what we see when we set people up and then we look further into that vendor lifecycle, we see that data isn't handled properly. It can appear in test environments. Sensitive data can appear in sandboxes. Again, the only way to check that is by assessments, by verification, and by attestation. So let me just tell you how Perimeter helps with this. The Perimeter platform does several different things, all in an integrated fashion. The assess portion of the platform verifies controls that can only be identified through an assessment, and it returns results immediately and provides actionable evidence on how those controls can be mitigated or remediated to meet the individual standards of your business. The second component of the platform, Monitor, or the continuous monitoring function, looks at all of the internet-facing attack surfaces of your vendor in real time. We source our own data to do that. And since it's integrated with the assessment platform, it will identify any inconsistencies between the assessment data and what we're seeing in the attack surfaces, so they can be immediately identified and addressed before those vulnerabilities can be exploited. The third and final piece of the platform, which we call Verify, uses AI to parse policy documents. And why this is critical is oftentimes cyber professionals don't have the time to read through hundreds and hundreds of policy documents attached as evidence to an assessment. So our AI function allows you to extract critical information from policy documents, and that as well is compared against the integrated collected data from assessments and from the continuous monitoring piece, so that any inconsistencies between the previous data sets will be flagged and highlighted by the AI component. In this way, we believe we provide the highest level of verification of your security posture or the security posture of your vendors than anyone else in the market. And to support this, we do offer a free trial. We call it substance versus surface. If you have assessment data, that's great. We can look at that assessment data, combine it with our attack surface data for one vendor or more, and we can show you where there are inconsistencies between the assessment and what's on their attack surfaces. Alternatively, we'll provide you with a free look at any vendor or set of vendors and evaluate their attack surfaces for you and share that with you free. So reach out if you're interested in pursuing this. We do stand behind everything that we say in these videos and in all of our marketing materials.